nerds? Tom here. So Galaxy Trucker is a really wacky and silly yet strategic real-time game where you're trying to build a ship as fast as you can. You're trying to build it faster than your opponents, but also better than your opponents because there's tons of different compartments and stuff that you want to get right. And then you got you have a race that you're going through, like a physical race on the board, and you've got tons of cards to avoid and wacky, silly, cool stuff. And it's just right up my alley, which means I love it.
Wrong in every way. No, 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 no. No, no.
This is a game I really wanted to like. Like, I knew what it was before I played it, and even like when going through the rules, I was like, yep, that sounds great, that sounds awesome, let's do it. And I started playing it, and I was enjoying the building of the ship part, but the problem is you're building this ship with tons of these different compartments. You got cargo hold, you got crew that you need engines, you need guns, you got shields, you got alien things you can make, right? Which is cool, and there's tons of rules about where they can go and the links that you can make and all that kind of stuff. And it's very random. You're drawing from this big pool of face-down tiles, looking for the right tile that you need. And that's overall pretty fun. But then you go to the second half of the round where you're drawing up all these cards that are like stuff you need to avoid, or ships you could loot, or planets you could land on, and all this stuff. And I mean, yeah, while you're doing the real-time aspect, you can look at the cards so you can know how many guns you need and how many engines and things that you're going to need to avoid. But man, oh man, is there a lot of random and a lot of silly, and you can just get an asteroid that comes, you roll a die to see what section it hits. Oh, it hits the one section that you didn't protect well enough, and then you lose all this stuff. And you could say, okay, Tom, yeah, but that just means you need to build your ship better. Well, building my ship better, a lot of that has to do with just the random tiles that we're drawing during that frantic real-time aspect. And again, this is just me talking about the game in general, right? I know this is the new edition, and there's like a couple new things, right? Like, I think the art is different, and you also get these tiles that are like sort of gold tiles. The person who has built the most X or whatever will get some bonus points. But honestly, I'm just talking about the game as a whole because I never played the original. Like, here's a picture of people playing the original. Guess what? I'm not one of them. And I know a lot of people love this game and have a really good time with it, especially people who've played it a bunch, right? So they know what they're doing, like they know what they're looking for, and I'm still kind of new, but I've played it 3 times now. And you have 3 different rounds, right, where you get a bigger ship each round, and the component quality and the art and all that stuff is great in this game. But I overall felt like it was a weird mix of strategy and wackiness, whereas almost too wacky to be strategic, yet too strategic to be wacky. I kind of feel like maybe I'm just missing the point. Like, okay, you could flip up one card and an asteroid comes and you roll the die and up it goes in the right spot and you lose all this stuff. And that's supposed to be the fun of the game, that everybody's laughing at you, it's all goofy, and maybe if I was drinking beers and stuff while playing this game, that I would have a great time. But I'd imagine that there'd be a little bit too many rules for that to happen. Right? Like, with trying to explain to my friends as we're drinking, the rules about the engines and the guns, and there's double guns, but they need batteries, and you spend batteries to use them. And when it comes to counting guns for the purpose of some of these cards, guns that are facing forward are 1, guns that are facing to the side are a half. But if an asteroid comes to the side, you have better range on, I think, the side. There's too many little rules that, yeah, I understand the rules when they're explained to me, but they're not rules that I'm going to remember during the franticness of building, or when we're flipping up all the cards or so many different cards. Like, it's designed to be a beer and pretzels game, but I'm gonna forget all those rules if I'm drinking, right? But drinking is supposed to elevate the game, you know what I mean? I really enjoy wacky games. I like beer and pretzels games, and I'm not negative on it per se. I'm more kind of middle of the road because there's a part of me that really wants to like it, but I feel like it's just barely missing the mark for me. And yeah, maybe if I play it a couple more times, the rules will be more internalized, and I'll know what I'm doing more when I'm building the ship. And building the ship part is probably the most fun part, and flipping over the cards. A lot of the times it's just kind of like doing what the card says, or even if there's a choice, it's like, well, it's not a hard choice because it's just, I'm just going to land on the planet that gives me the most points, you know? So this is a game that if other people were playing it and they were like, hey Tom, you want to join? Sure, I'll play it again. You know, I'm just probably never gonna choose it. I don't know if I want to keep it in my collection. And this is almost a tough video to make because I really wanted to like it. I was so excited, you know? I like real time. Well, I mean, real time isn't my favorite aspect, but when it's done well, I enjoy it a lot. I like wacky silly. I like beer and pretzels types of games, you know? I don't have a ton of those in my collection, so it feels like it's filling in a slightly empty spot in my collection. I feel like it would be, you know, really beneficial, but it's just not scratching the itch quite right. But anyways, there's a link in the description box down below if you want to buy a copy, because we get money every time you click on that. We also have what I think we have like a Patreon link. You can send us money through our PayPal. You can just send us money in the mail. Grab like a wadded ones. There's a link down there for Game Toppers. All the usual things I say to end a video, and you know, subscribe, bored by bull. Grab like a wadded ones, right? Like we're strippers, and send it to us. You know how you send money to strippers in the mail.